How would you define your style of leadership?
If I can add value to you, that's where I come into your life.
What are some of the misconceptions most people have about business, and what is the reality of it?
The key is asking questions. Be honest and ask for help. Be honest and with myself, and start this whole train of communicating with people and asking them their opinions.
And if there was one thing you would change, let's say in your business, things that you've done, like you would change in the community on the way things are, what would you change? Had the power to. Welcome to the Montreal Entrepreneur Podcast, Paolo.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yes.
It's been a while. I wanted to have you, and I feel like I already know you, but
Same here.
I'm sure there's a lot to discover.
Well, look, I'm here for that, and if it can help anybody, that's what we do.
Please tell us, what do you do?
What do we do? Well, we do many things. I mean,
Okay, that's great. Let's get
we're
into
entrepreneurs, so we develop our own real estate. We have old age homes. We have residential projects. That's stuff that we've been doing for years and years. Recently, what's taken most of our time has been developing flexible office spaces with Metspace.
I like the name. Flexible, the term,
Yeah, well, it is flexible because, it's co-working. But it's more flexible. People just want the flexibility to be able to choose and do what they wish. So my wife and I have been running that business now it's going to be 10 years.
10 years already.
10 years coming up soon. So that's our main business right now. We also do some coaching as well. So we help entrepreneurs develop their own businesses.
Is there a particular niche?
We focus on online. So what we do is we teach them how to develop and grow extra revenues using online platforms. We are ambassadors of different brands, but we use it because it's a very inexpensive way to develop yourself as an entrepreneur. The biggest fear of entrepreneurs is what? The cost, right? Yeah. If I have to open up a restaurant, I want to open up a franchise. You're looking at $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 just to start.
I know.
Right? You haven't covered your staff costs. You haven't covered you haven't even paid yourself. So,
the marketing, the branding.
The branding. So you're looking at loans and mortgages on your home. So what we do is we tell people, stay where you are. And this is something we discovered, honestly, just to give you a little backdate on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's something we discovered during COVID. We met some amazing people, and they've been doing this for years, teaching people. And what we realized is that the biggest fear was the cost. And when you speak to people, that's the biggest fear. So these people are teaching people how to start. Just keep your job. Don't let go of your job. Build an extra revenue asset on the side that can help you then eventually have the choice. Do you like your job? Do you not like your job? Do you want to do other things in life? So Caterina and I have just fallen in love with this whole model.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really, really cool. And the flex space, man, this is where all entrepreneurs start. So, the ones that do need a corporate address now, they're incorporated.
That's the next level.
That's the next level, right? Then they want to meet their clients. Where do they meet them? They're going to go to Tim Hortons, or you're going to meet them in a professional atmosphere. I mean, and most flex spaces are pretty well adapted these days. I'm not going to I'll say a lot of them are getting into the groove of things, being more professional, clean, having good coffee, good service. That's the main focus for us. And making the entrepreneur feel like he's got it all. Like he's when his clients come in, they need to feel like, wow, this guy is on the ball. He's in the right place. The receptionist, our boutique leader receives the client as if it was her own, offers them a coffee or a comfortable place to just sit, or to the boardroom, and all the services that go around that, so that our new entrepreneurs, or even our experienced entrepreneurs, feel like they're taken care of. And that's been the key with the flex space. So
and I see you a lot on social media with promoting Metspace, right?
Yes. Promoting. I mean, we talk. I mean, that's my daughter, by the way, that does our social media. Mika, she's awesome. She's doing a really great job. Her and Amira do a beautiful job with the social media. But it's more just informing. So I don't wanna come off. That was a thing I've been learning about social media and marketing. I don't want to come off too salesy. And you want to be informative and just tell people what it really is instead of like, oh, come here, 2 for 1 special. I just can't stand that.
No, you don't do that.
I don't like that.
I think well, we're all selling something,
Yes.
even ourselves, to our husband, or our kids, or our clients.
Of course.
But the way you come out from the video is, it's a family thing. It's a community. Look, we're having cake together on a Friday. We have activities. So I think that it creates an atmosphere that people maybe want to be part of.
I agree.
But there's more, I'm sure. Go ahead.
But I agree completely. And it's exactly that, right? We used to do bigger things like big barbecues. We still do certain dinners and lunches. But the breakfast or the cake or just sitting around the lounge has gotten us more individuals involved with individuals. So people connect more.
Okay.
They're more at ease. And I mean, you walk into like, they didn't know each other, and all of a sudden I hear they're golfing together. Who's playing tennis together? Who's going to the gym? Doing business, obviously. I mean, they're there for that. And that's just happening organically.
Well, that's
just because you
great.
gave them the opportunity and the freedom to be able to discover that. Not pushing, not doing anything, just giving them that opportunity to connect. And that's the key, right? That's the whole key to any business. I mean, look at yourself, right? You mean, we connected because, I saw the videos. I was like, oh, wow. Then Luciano. And then I'm like, okay, I got to connect with her, right? It's what it is. You never said, hey, come and do a podcast with me. I don't know. I'll give you a deal or something. No, it's just informing and informing and informing. And then people get attracted to that and want to be around that type of person and people.
So connecting is very important in business.
In any business. It's everything. I've been doing videos lately on that. It's from John Maxwell, one of the books that I'm an ambassador of, is many people communicate but few connect. Everybody communicates but few connect. That's the name. Sorry, I didn't have the title by heart, but it's the key. People talk. We can talk. But do we really connect? Are we really getting somewhere?
But how would you define that? How would you define to connect?
How would you define that? It's really listening, asking questions. Yes, you got to speak, right? You got to talk, because if you don't talk, you're not going to get anywhere. But are you listening to the person? Are you asking questions, or are you just telling them what's going on?
For example, in a B2B scenario, that would be like speaking with the potential client, asking them questions. And
the key is asking questions. Okay. The best, I don't know which book it was. I think it was Never Split the Difference. Awesome book. Is The Art of Negotiation. Yes. I'm sure you've read that. It's amazing. And they're talking about, salesmen. You don't sell. There's no selling. It's just asking the right questions. It's just being there and listening and asking the right questions, because the person is already coming in to buy a car. They don't care. It's not the color. They saw the color. They love the car. But what does the person really need? What are they looking for? How could you help them? And connect, create that relationship where the client's almost like, I have to buy the car off Cathy. She's the person, like, oh my God, they understand me. They know what I want. And it's authentic. It has to come off. It has to be authentic. It can't be a pitch.
Is that something from within? Is that a skill? Like, let's say
it's a skill that you develop. Because it's not everybody that has it naturally.
Yes.
All right. I have a hard time. See, I have to stop myself from talking sometimes. You notice it? I still do it. Because I love to jump in and start talking. So it's a skill you develop. You just have to practice it. You could ask my family, my kids, everybody. Sometimes I just start talking, and they're like, "Does he ever shut up? Is he gonna let us talk?" So trust me, it's a skill. I think you just gotta keep on practicing and developing.
So then that is the connecting part. I know that you went to Michigan
Yes.
recently,
Yes.
and I saw a video that you posted, and you spoke about the different speakers that were there.
Yes.
Some had different energy, and then you talk about how they make you feel as you were in the audience. Can you elaborate on that?
So how do they make you feel? That's the whole key, right? Some speakers come out and they're monotone and they're just talking and it's boring, and after half an hour you're like about to fall asleep. Then there's the communicator who comes out and is extravagant, right? We had some guys that came on, they were just like, roar, and they're just, so then you either like the aggressive or you don't like the aggressive. So the aggressive is there to wake you up and like to shake you up and and get you like jumping on your chair like a Tony Robbins style, right? Those like those guys will make you within 5 seconds you're on your chair and you're like, I'm never gonna get on my chair. I'm never gonna scream. And like 10 seconds later, you're on your chair and you're screaming and you're like, how the hell did this happen to me? Why did I get here? And it happened to us. We went to Tony Robbins a few years back, and it was so funny because I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen to me. 5 minutes later, I'm on a chair and I'm like, yeah, like.
Because then everybody around you is doing the same thing.
The energy is
the
there.
Yeah.
Did he necessarily connect with you? Not necessarily, but it's the energy that he created, and that created that roar. So then there's the speaker that does come out and then is like as if he's speaking to you, right? And it's as if he's asking you a question. He just takes that time, and those are the communicators I love the most. Yeah. There's not many that have that art to a T. I'll give John Maxwell has that. I mean, he's a great communicator. He just knows. It's as if he's talking to you, you know. And there's many speakers that way, but not many anymore, because a lot are just trying to have that roar and that aggressive and do this and
it's like they're lecturing.
Yeah, like kick ass and do instead of like. I like that was the Michigan message was there was a few guys that just knew how to connect with people and inspire you and say, you know, I want to be like that. I want to be a better man. I want to be a better dad. I want to be a better entrepreneur, a better husband, a better friend, you know?
So in a business setting, so this was the speaker, like, yes, you have to be able to speak. Yeah. But let's say a business owner, like the founder. So now, yes, we talked about connection. They have to be able to connect with whoever that they're speaking with to convert, right? So now they have to be able to communicate as well. So then communication, connection, and then conversion. Would you say that?
Yes, I think that happens naturally, right? But you have to go for the sale. Yes, you have to go for the conversion. I mean, if you don't, so you can talk and connect as much as you want, but if you don't go for the sale or if you don't go for something, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So yes, you need the conversion side, which is the hardest part for everybody, right? Because then, you know, you connect, it's great, and then it's like, okay, now how do I ask for something? Yeah. So now you put yourself in a position where you're asking for something. Whereas, what if the conversation would just flow into naturally talking about the item or whatever, the car that's for sale, right? And just flowing into it and say, so what do you think? You know, like, want to take it for a ride? Like, so changing the subjects, whether the person comes back with an offer or they come back with something, right? Instead of you putting yourself in a position of having to.
But on a daily basis, how do you practice that? Let's say in your business, or what do you see at other entrepreneurs? I know you're in different type of businesses.
Yeah, there are two different businesses, right? So real estate is, it depending on what you're dealing with. If you're dealing with the landlords and I'm negotiating to open up a new Metspace, it's a very different conversation. With a real estate broker, it's a very different conversation. With my members or our tenants, our Metspacers we call, and that's a different conversation. So we have like 15 conversations going on. And then imagine the team, right? That's there, and you want them. So on a daily, it's like you want them to make the client be right, because that's what the golden rule is. But then it's my team. And I want my clients or members or Metspacers to respect my team because I know they're giving their 100% to them. So how do you find that balance? So the communication is a daily juggle.
Yes.
And we don't get it right every single day. The importance is never to burn a bridge, even if you made a mistake, or call it a mistake, or maybe it's even if you did something that you bit your tongue. How bad? Like, so think more before speaking. Because you can always come back. If you thought about it and you don't just blurt things out. You don't have all the answers, right? You don't like, and you just, no, what did I just do? Which happens.
So don't burn bridges in business.
Just don't burn the bridge. Yeah. Don't burn the bridge. Leave it open. If you're not sure, think. Don't burn the bridge. I've burned some bridges in my life, and it sucks because then you got to come back and you're backpedaling. It's just hard, right?
Yeah, it's harder.
It's harder. So think more. Take a step back, even on your day to day. Take 10 seconds and just, okay.
And at your level in business, you've been in business for how long, would you say?
My God, my entire life.
Yes.
When I graduated from high school, I went to college and I wasn't a fan of school. So my dad, I had a family business at the time. My dad was very old school and was like, hey, listen, if you're not going to school, you're coming to work. So for me, it was like straight to work.
Yeah.
And then I went back to school later as an adult. I had the university classes and I did all kinds of certificates because I felt like I needed it. And I'm like, oh man, why did I miss out on all that? But I've been in business since the age of 19.
19.
And
then from 19 up until now,
yeah.
Do you sometimes have that feeling that you're still figuring things out? Or do you feel like you have it all pretty much figured out?
No, far from. Are you kidding me? The day we have everything figured out, it's over. Just wait for your business to just decline. Everything declines. Your marriage is going to decline. Your friendships are going to decline. Yourself as a person. I mean, your self-image, the way you are, you have nothing figured out, man. That's for sure.
And what's the hardest lesson that you've learned from the past that had a big impact on you today?
Thinking that I had it all. I've been there before. So I before Metspace began and all these adventures of today, I was in a family business and I thought I was at the top of my game and I was very, very successful. We had a beautiful business and 200 employees and it was awesome. It was really fun but I got lost in all that. And that was all that mattered to me.
What mattered? The business?
Business.
Okay.
And I let go of the whole connection thing. It was just the business and growing, becoming huge. And so getting lost in that, eventually it kind of tore me down and tore down the business as well.
So getting lost meaning you didn't know who you were? Or?
No, I knew exactly who I was. I knew exactly who I thought I was. And I was like, I was at the top. And I knew all the answers and there was nobody else that could help me. Like it was, you get lost in that direction. So that answers that question for you to say, are you ever going to get there? No, you'll never. Not for me, never again. Will I let myself or allow myself to even think that?
So probably many entrepreneurs fall into that same mentality. Maybe they reach a certain amount of success in their life and they feel like they're on top of it. So the lesson would be to watch out so that, like, what would you say? Like, to be careful about?
Watch out. Keep your eyes open. Listen to people. Surround yourself with people who love you, yes, but they're not all yes people.
Yeah.
You need a few people that are there that care for you, that have your back, but they're ready to tell you the truth. They're not afraid of you.
So close friends or family members?
Even external people. Sometimes family members will just tell you things because they love you and out of fear. And they might not understand business.
True.
So how can they help you? So that's one thing that's very important I learned is speak to people who've done it before. Like, don't go for the opinion of someone who's never run a business when you're talking about business. If they're a great dad or a great mom and you're having problems at home, now those are the right people to go speak to.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about our business now, well, you want someone that's been there before, not someone who's dreamt of it but never did anything. Now, you don't want that person to give you business advice, right?
So have people around you that can keep you grounded. And so coaching is important, basically. Yes.
It's everything. Yeah. It's having mentors, it's having coaches, and mentors in different facets, right? It's not just one mentor. I mean, there's mentors that you'll look up to as a person, athletes maybe for your physique, business moguls that you look up to for business, relationships. You say, oh my God, look at them, right? You say, oh, they're amazing. Why can't we be more like them? Not in totally, but because they'll surprise you too. so just take what you want. That helps you. But that they have success in. Yeah.
And were there times that in your life you felt like everything was going wrong? Like everything is against you? I don't know, there's a month or the year.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that? Or how did you overcome things like that?
I think there's always going to be moments where you'll feel like that. Some will be worse and some will be lighter, but there will always be. If you're growing, if you're going somewhere in life, it's inevitable. You're going to fail. You're going to feel like a failure. It's going to hurt. The important thing is what do you do next? If you're surrounded with all these people, like we said, if you set yourself up properly, the failure, you got to live it. Take it. Absorb it. Accept it. Because it's important for you to accept. But now, once you've done that, what's next? Like, what are you doing now? You're going to go see one of your mentors, coaches. Let's go. Let's take some action and move forward. Once you've done your morning, I lost this. It's not going well. Go over that 24 hours. Do it. No problem. But now, what's next? What are we doing?
In your circle, do you feel like most people, do they have mentors or no? Because when do you know when to get it? Like at what stage the entrepreneur says, okay, you know what? Now is the time in my business that I need to go and seek mentors.
Okay. I had this conversation with a 40-year-old young man, because I want to say young man because our 40s is not old anymore. He was a potential soccer player, a professional soccer player in France, actually. And I was talking to him about the coaching with the business, and he's like, I said, so he asked me the question, he goes, why do I need a coach? I said, why do you need a coach? I said, when you first started, the first day you kicked the soccer ball, how old were you? He goes, I was around 5, 6 years old. Who taught you how to kick a soccer ball? It was my older brother. Oh, okay. I go, once you learned how to kick the soccer ball, who taught you how to pass the ball? He goes, it was my dad. I said, then you joined the soccer team? He's like, yeah. I goes, who taught you how to do drills? It was the coach. I go, in your entire life, you played all the way to pro, and you're asking me, when is it time to have a coach? He says, I did that all on my own. That was his answer. So you need a coach your whole life. The only thing is, you need to know that. You need to understand that coaching started a long time ago. And you need to be humble enough to say, my mom or my dad or my sibling or my grandmother started coaching me a long time ago. Once we understand that, I think that cultures block that out. We've been being coached since we were children. We shouldn't be waiting till now. And trust me, I'm talking from experience because I didn't know that then. And I wish I could just teach that today to a generation where they say, you're already being coached, appreciate it. Take it in. As I still get questions from people who come to me and say, hey, I'm just coming to ask you the question. I don't really need your, they're coming with a question but a retraction. It's like, your opinion is not that important. I'm like, so then why are you coming and see me? If you don't need my answer, then don't come and see me. If you want me to be humble and give you the right advice, if I can, then you got to come with an open heart too. Not just because if I tell you something you don't like, then it's not good. Yeah. So
sometimes this is what will happen. You can ask for the question and the answers might not be the one you wanted because the person has been there and done that.
Yes.
So then they know a bit better. Yeah. But some people are against that. They say, if you have an idea, just try it on your own first before you go and ask for help.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, listen, if you're not gambling the house, it's not a big deal. If you have a family and kids and you're gambling the house, well, like, then there's something a little bit more wrong in what you're thinking. If you're, you want to get on a diet and you want to try something, it's not a big deal. Go for it. Yes, for sure. I say it all the time. I mean, you're young, especially young people.
Yeah.
Like, what are you waiting for? Oh, well, if this is there and I finish this and no, forget it. Just try it. You're not gambling the house. You're not losing everything. You haven't taken a third mortgage on your house. No, you're not there yet. So you're fine. Yes, in that moment, I say, go. When things get risky and you have a life at risk, people at risk, your responsibilities at risk, well, then you need to think it through a little bit more. You can't risk everything all the time. It's just not life. It doesn't make sense.
Sure. I speak with entrepreneurs, and I see sometimes they say things like, oh, we have to figure it out. Like, they don't want to start until they figure it all out. But even in me, I see that if I don't start, there's so many things I don't know. And then when let's say I'm at point D, then I realize, oh my God, if I did not start, there's no way I would have seen all these other things that, were to come.
I hear you.
You have to start.
You have to start.
Yes.
So starting doesn't mean you're going all the way. It just means you're starting. You're taking the steps to get moving. You're plunging. You're going, but you're not, sinking yourself into the idea. It's starting. And there's nothing that's going to happen without starting. So you could plan and study and write down all the plans you want, the business plans, but if you don't take action, nothing's going to happen. Now, there's a limit in how far the action is, but yeah, you got to do it. If you're not going to start, nothing's going to happen.
Another question is, what are some of the misconceptions most people have about business, and what is the reality of it?
It's easier than what it is. Once people see that people are successful on TV or whatever, on social media, it's like, oh my God, they're so lucky.
So luck?
They're so lucky, yeah. People think it's luck. There is a bit of luck, but I think and this, don't get me wrong on the wording, you create your own luck, but again, you create your own luck using all the tools that I told you, like the coaches, the mentors, the surrounding yourself with the right team. So yes, you're doing it yourself, but these people are part of it too. So when you say, I'm a self-made man or self-made woman or self-made entrepreneur, whoa, don't scam. It's like there's a big picture behind it that you're missing.
Yeah, because you can't do it alone.
There's no way. There's no way. I spoke about this to my wife 2 days ago. This is funny, this conversation we're having this now. My dad always taught me it was we in the business. The second you say I, you just kind of demolish the whole business because your whole team is doing it for almost you. So if you as a leader is not able to turn back and say we, then what kind of business are you building? What kind of team are you building? So yes, you're a self-made business person. You are. But are you really self? Or is it, is it the whole big picture? Yes, it's image-wise, it sounds good, but reality-wise, not too sure.
And the Paolo, 10 years ago, and the one today, do you see a big difference?
Yes.
And what has contributed to that growth?
A lot of reading.
Reading?
Changing my surroundings, not because people were not good around me. It was me that wasn't good when I was around certain situations. So I needed to change. Meeting my wife.
That was less than 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes. My life changed very quickly, trust me. So yes. In that aspect, my wife and I met almost 10 years ago. She had two beautiful daughters, which are my daughters today, which is Micaela and Kiana. And we had Antonino 6 years ago, so he's our little boy. So that all happened within 10 years. So and it's funny because I have a note that I keep of my gains today within the last 10 years, And it's true, like so much has changed. I read the Bible. Like I never did that before. We go to church. I still have all my old friends. We still have a great time together. We still have a glass of wine, and I mean, we have great meals. But then I have my other side where I'm more like centered. I just want to be more calm and just be around my family. So I think I have more balance now from what I was 10 years ago. Whereas 10 years ago was just business and fun.
Yeah, but you didn't have a family at that time.
I had no family. I had nothing attaching me. Whereas now it's my health, my family, my kids, my business, friends, my coaches, my mentors. Like these are all things that are very important to me.
Priorities change.
Yeah, big time. Like I have mentors and coaches now that I look up to, and I don't want to disappoint them. And I know that I have tendencies of being like disappointing. And so I work
They hold you accountable.
Yeah, I work very hard to try to like keep everybody liking me. But being the best version of myself, I guess, is what I try to do. Yeah. Are we every day? No. Do we work at it? Yeah.
You said something about a note, like your gains. What does that mean?
So there's a book called Gains. I'd have to take off my phone. I think it's called Gains. One of my mentors told me to read this book. So I started getting into it. You get into this book right away because it starts telling you to write out, like, what are your gains today? Okay. Meaning, in the last 10 years, from where you were 10 years ago to today, what have you gained?
Okay.
What's been better? What's getting better? Because there's a lot of things that could be negative. So instead of writing the negative stuff, just write the things that went well.
Okay.
Although things...
So you look into the past to see all the advancements and the growth.
Yes, to today. Okay. Now, although you could have maybe lost so much in the last 10 years, find the gains.
Okay. So it's a type of gratitude thing.
Yes, somewhat, but more factual. It's like tack, like this. So you could do it every week. You could do it every month too. And just, even though you had a crappy month, just say, but what went well, and note... So it's kind of it's a gratitude, but like very like specific.
And do you have something that, like, let's say you write your goals for the future?
Yeah, of course.
So 10 years ago, like, did you have something like that or no? To say, this is what I want to be?
Truth be told is that when I founded Metspace was going to be 10 years ago, I only discovered this a year later.
Okay.
How to write goals and how to plan. How to be a lot more intuitive, more how do you say, like take control. I actually wanted to do this. That was through John Maxwell when I discovered the whole John Maxwell team, and I followed him, and I was stalking him actually, and I ended up in Orlando, and I got certified. I became a certified coach of John Maxwell. And so did my wife afterwards. Once we met, and she became a certified coach. But so when I discovered that whole world of coaching and leadership, is when that changed for me. So the first year of Metspace, it was just office space, rent office space, and that was it. Right? It was a flex space. Okay, I had some office spaces, and I was just renting. And then it became a community. And then we turned it into, hold on a second, these people need support. And we brought that whole aspect.
Okay, so you're helping the entrepreneurs that are...
Oh, yeah. I'm there for anyone who wants to come and sit with me. I don't chase. I'm not going to start... some people just don't want to hear you. So there's no point of like being on top of them. But anyone who does want to sit down with me... My door is open. They know it 100%. Anybody could come and see me.
So you made that
book
clear.
Time with me. It's very clear. They know it. I speak to them in the hallways. Hey, listen, you want to have a coffee? Let me know. Sometimes I'm in a rush, right? And they're trying to catch you there. I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. Like, just book a time, man. Let's have lunch. Let's have coffee.
So that means that entrepreneurs can reach out to you if they need, I don't know, sound advice when it comes to business.
Yes.
That's something you can...
100%,
yeah. And how do they reach out to you? Like, somebody's listening now.
LinkedIn, we're here. Facebook Messenger, Instagram. Call me at the office. Email me. You'll find me. If you're really hungry and want something more in life, you'll find me. You'll find anybody actually. You can find the hardest person to reach in the world if you really want something.
The
Or are you just
desire to like make it happen.
100%. Is it curiosity or is it real? You know, is it authentic or is it just like, oh yeah, one day this and one day that, and it's impossible for me. That's not true. Come on. You know what? We didn't invent the wheel. People have been building success since the beginning of time. So that's not true.
And then speaking with you seems like somebody who's very like welcoming. So I guess that makes them feel at ease that they can come and share, I don't know, those burdens we know. And businesses, sometimes it's not easy to be able to share those, they're not secrets, but deep down struggles that maybe other people in their family might not understand. Yeah. Or if they're a solopreneur, let's say, they don't have anybody to, you know, pour out their heart to. I guess this is where you come in as well.
It happens. I guess you just have to be open. Am I welcoming? I think I am. Sometimes I feel like I'm not. So I try to smile and try to have that welcoming approach. But I've never said no to anyone who actually wants to sit down with me and talk.
So how do you help them? You set out they tell you their current situation, and then you.
We just talk, and I really want to know like why are they like what's the situation. I don't have a plan. I'm not that type of coach with like set up plans and stuff. I don't do that.
Okay.
I just I have business models. I do my business. I do my thing, and if I can add value to you, that's where I come into your life. I'm just a question. I just ask questions until we figure out what's going on. And if my questions help you find your answers, then great.
Because that can happen too. You're answering the question, you're like, oh, I have the answer already.
They have everybody. We all do. It's just that's the whole key about surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah, the environment.
Yeah, it's like who you're speaking to, and then a lot of times they'll find their own answers, and it's okay. That's the whole point to it.
How would you define your style of leadership?
I don't know. You'd have to ask someone else.
I'll ask the staff.
Yeah, you'd have to ask my team. Not sure. Sometimes I could be aggressive. Sometimes I could be very calm and understanding. It depends the situation. It depends what's needed. And honestly, they'll ask me for it. Like if there's something going wrong, they'll kind of invite me to be a little bit different or less understanding or more understanding. So I leave it up to them. What do you need? What do you need from me now? And that's where I'm going to help you. The one thing I want is my team to be doing their own thing. I don't like them coming and see me with just problems. Come and see me with solutions.
Yeah. So they say, this is the problem, but here's our potential solutions.
Exactly.
What are your
so
thoughts?
If they're coming and see me with no solution, then are you wanting me to take action on this, or are you going to take action on this? And and most of the time, no, we'll do it. So they'll take it back, right? Because it's like you're not coming, so you need to come with solutions instead of just. So it depends the situation.
Let's deviate into networking a little bit.
Okay.
Networking is important part of business. Yes. Especially you said back then you used to be in the commercial real estate, which you still are in that space.
Yes.
And it's a very small, it's a small community. That's what I hear people say.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to like get into the industry, get known, find out, in order to potentially connect and communicate, just like we talked about, and then convert. What are some of the techniques, or how do they go about doing that?
Well, okay, so commercial real estate is one world. We're in the flex space. So they're two different worlds, and they are very small. They don't even connect at some points. I've been noticing that over the last couple of years. They try to, but it's like very two different worlds. So when it comes to business or real estate or you need to be around the right. Number one, you need to hang out with the right people. Take the time to maybe connect with people. Call people who have done it before you, and who are successful, and take the time to have a coffee with them. And
so do you just call and say, "Would you like to have a coffee with me?" And do you think they'll say yes?
Most will. If they don't, you don't even want to speak to them. I mean, I've never been told no so far. I don't think so. So unless I was chicken to call them, which still happens to me. Like some people I still haven't called. But the ones that I have called have all met me.
But let's say the entrepreneur is maybe they just started a few years ago or 5 years they've been in business and they want to reach that person that's on top.
Well, you got to be in the right places. So if there's a real estate forum that's going on, go. Maybe meet some people that work with that person, or work under that person, become friends with them, and make them introduce you slowly without even asking, right? Because then they'll like you. So they'll say, hey, come, I'll make you meet X, Y, Z. So you got to be out there. The real estate forums, any event that you can be in that has to do with
industry,
your world. Just follow the events that are around your industry and get out there and just shake hands, make friends, open yourself up. That's hard. Mean? Open yourself up means like just be open. When you walk into a room, if you like you said, shake hands. You're gonna shake hands and like hello and walk away, or are you there and say, hey, I'm Cathy Bernard and I'd like to meet you and just have a conversation. So that's being open, I'd say.
What if they're shy?
That's hard. I know. I could be shy. The worst part is I could be really shy. So it's moods. I get mood swings. I'm a bit crazy sometimes, I guess. What do? You know what? Bring someone with you.
That's a good point.
There's nothing wrong with bringing someone with you that gives you that encouragement, or maybe gives you that little fuel. Say, go talk to that person. Like start that conversation. That's for somebody who's starting, right? Sometimes you just need a push.
Yeah.
You're alone, so go maybe with a mentor or somebody you look up to. Say, you want to come with me? And just maybe the person can guide you or push you into. Like I speak to a lot of brokers, younger brokers. Okay, you're reaching out online. I get it. It's fine. But there's nothing like this.
Yeah.
There's nothing compared to this. You can't compare it. You can't.
If you want to reach a certain level at one point, you have to get off the couch and then just start.
You have no choice.
Yeah.
You have no choice. The online billionaires, there's few. I mean, they have a great idea. They go online, they make it happen. But in our industry, real estate or any type of business development where you want to connect with people, and you're not selling a bottle of water, you need to go out there and meet them. Somehow, I mean, you could start online, but eventually they'll want to shake your hand.
What's the most uncomfortable thing you've done to grow the business, or I don't know, in the past?
Be honest and ask for help. Be honest and with myself, and start this whole train of communicating with people and asking them their opinions, and maybe not hearing what I wanted to hear when my idea was made. It doesn't mean I had to take everything they said, but it added value to my decisions. That was the hardest part for me, because at the beginning, like I said a long time ago, I thought I just knew everything.
Yeah.
So I had to break that.
To become more humble.
Yes, and that's hard. That's hard when you're an entrepreneur. You have an idea, you're on fire, you're just like, nobody. And then someone says, yeah, but I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I know. I know. This is what's going to happen. No, it's not. Oh. And then you're arguing, and it's like, what a waste of time. Instead of just sitting there and saying to the person, what do you mean? Like, tell me more. Doesn't mean I have to listen to the person, but at least not listen. I'm going to listen to the person, absorb what they have to say. Doesn't mean I have to do what they tell me to do, but at least it can maybe save me from making a mistake. So that was the hardest part for me.
To work on becoming more humble.
Yeah. Although I came off very humble with people. Like I'd be like, oh yeah. Like I really didn't care what they were saying. And it was horrible, because then I mean, wow, I could have used that advice. I made such a mistake. I should have just listened to someone who passed before me.
Hence the importance of making mistakes.
Yes.
Because I think we need that pain sometimes to make us like, whoa, okay.
Wake up, man.
Wake up, yes. We have to deviate our course, become somebody else.
Yeah.
There are things that I feel like you cannot teach. The person has to experience that on their own. Unfortunately, it's sometimes not always, it's going to hurt. That's it. But hey.
Big time. Sometimes.
We all have to go through it.
But that's the beauty of learning.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. You nailed it. You want to learn, or you want to just keep on, it's like that rotating door at the shopping center. It's going to hit you in the face once. It's going to hit you in the face twice. Like, what are you going to move out of the way?
Yes, you have to learn from those mistakes. Because otherwise, oh my God, it's self-defeating, right? And you have all these things going on, many businesses, family with 3 kids. I also have 3 kids.
Yes.
How do you manage all of that? And you said you had balance, which I'm very surprised. So maybe you have a great support system. Elaborate.
I do have a great support. My wife's awesome. So she works hard in the business, but her main focus is the family. So that's very important to us. Although she's like almost full time with me I'm always calling her and making like, let's do this and let's do that, and I'm like driving her nuts. But at the end, the main focus is the kids. So you have to have a bit of a balance. Grandparents, my mom, her mom, everybody's there. So we have a great support system. My daughters, forget about it. My son, we're golden on that side.
Yeah.
Are we 100% balanced? No. Who is? I'd be lying to you. Come on. But we do our best. It's not easy. Sometimes it's just, but you do your best. And we're there for each other. We're honest. Something's up, something's wrong. We got to fix it right away because there's too much going on for it to become an issue. There's enough issues that you don't want that to become an issue.
You mean like on a personal level?
Personal level, you said balancing with the family. Like those things need to be like nipped in the butt, and you got to fix it, and you got to move on because there's enough things that are holding you like around. So yeah, are you ever going to be fully balanced? That's not true. It's not. It's just finding what fits with you. I mean, you have 3 kids. Your husband's there. There's family. There's friends. There's school. Thank God they go to school.
I think that's what school was invented.
So all that's cool, but then there's the activities, right? The soccer and the this and the who's horseback riding and who's doing this. It's like, ooh, like hello.
How do you stay sane, you and your wife?
Luckily, we have our little date nights every once in a while, so that's really cool. And we do take time every night. Like we'll sit down and maybe just watch TV or just which we would never do. But then like that, like 15, 20 minutes, just sit down and I'll watch, I don't know, something. Just to calm us down and connect, right? We'll take trips. We'll go to our coachings, like with our Michigan, like you said, in Michigan. So we go there together. So we'll take an extra day, just take a walk, go for lunch, and relax, and then come back to the zoo.
Oh my goodness. Well, at least you get to have the time to connect, I don't want to say disconnect completely from your business, but and family, but take a step back and to reflect, and get your energy back, like you said.
What do you guys do? What is it?
Well, same thing, but it's something that we're continuously working on it.
Yes.
Like the date night, I find it's harder at night to take a date night, so we do date day. I don't know if there's such a thing.
It does. We're allowed. It's okay. We're allowed.
So yeah, good. Because they're young. At night, we're with them. We have to do homework and all these other things. So yeah,
I agree. We do the same thing. So it'll be lunch. It could be some, like we have the 18-year-old is there. So if she's free from school or from any obligations, and she says, "Okay, I'll watch them," then we're good. Like then we're going for a nice dinner. But no, you're not gonna go for dinner not going out till midnight. That's gone, because someone's gonna get up at 5, 6 in the morning and be like, "Hey, I'm here." So you're not gonna do that. So life changes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exactly the same.
But it's beautiful. Like we know why we're doing all of this, and it's fun.
If you're happy and you're on the right page with your partner, and you challenge each other enough, it doesn't become just boring and just a relationship. You have good friends, good people, good vibe around you. It's all good. Yeah,
working with your spouse could be challenging, but like you said, good.
It's got its challenges.
Yes.
Of course, it's got its challenges, but I find more good than bad.
I would say so too.
Oh yeah. It's actually fun.
Yeah. And if there was one thing you would change, let's say in your business, things that you've done, you would change in the community on the way things are, what would you change if you had the power to fix it?
I've asked myself that question. What would I have done if I had to start it over? I don't know. I don't. Maybe think a bit more ahead financially. Be more prepared. If you think you're gonna need $1, get ready for 3. If you think it's gonna take 1 year, get ready for 3.
I thought you were gonna say 2. Not even.
Oh no. If you think it's gonna go good, get ready for it not going good.
Yeah.
So, just being more attentive and more aware and prepared. Go for it. Like we said before, jump in, do what you gotta do, but be smart. Like, don't just throw all your eggs in and say it's gonna work out. Yeah. It might work out, but you're better off being more prepared, especially if you're educated about it. If you don't, and you don't listen to podcasts like this, and you're not reading the right books, and you're not listening to people, and you're not speaking to anybody, well, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's great advice right there. Sound advice, yes.
Yeah.
And my last question is, what do you like about the city of Montreal?
I love the city of Montreal. What do we like? The food.
Most people say that.
Oh, the food. Come on, you can't compare it. Our atmosphere. It's still such a vibe, such a multicultural vibe that's united. Still today, with everything that's going on and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Everybody's still cool with each other. We're not so bad. It's not as bad as it seems.
Well, Paolo, it was a pleasure to have you on the Montreal Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure. This is so cool.
Nice conversation.
I was looking forward to it, and I'm very, very, very pleased, and it's nice.
Until next time.
Anytime.